Media in the Middle East is a subject that interests researchers of many disciplines. The methodological approaches to the study of Middle Eastern media vary based on the ideologies of these researchers. Fields such as sociology, cultural studies, psychology, history, and anthropology can each provide their own unique perspectives on media studies. Comparing specific studies from different disciplines can help to develop new ideas about Middle Eastern media. In this video, we will compare the sociological methods of Daniel Lerner and the anthropological methods of Marwan Crady, as well as the work of Edward Said. As a result of his sociological studies, Daniel Lerner believed modernization was a necessary process for the development of human societies. He believed a functioning, civilized society was a result of modernity, and the media was an area in which society projected these social values. Lerner ranked 6 Middle Eastern countries, in order of which was more modern than the last. The countries he studied included Lebanon, Turkey, Jordan, Iran, Syria, and Egypt. Lerner had his own ideas about what made one country more modern than another. In order to answer his questions, Lerner gave questionnaires to citizens of each of these 6 countries and analyzed the results of many interviews. These interviews were not actually conducted by Lerner, but by his assistants, who were all fluent in the native language of the country in question, and were under the direction of an American in charge. Categories used for the interviews included high media exposure, media approval, empathy to modern press standards, opinion range, and news range. For a social scientist, Lerner's methods may seem both problematic and unethical. Edward Said studied media in the Middle East differently than Lerner, taking an approach more suited for the field of cultural studies. While Lerner based his studies on questionnaires and interviews, Said attempted to analyze the Middle East through texts. In his book, Covering Islam, Said explored the Western perspectives on what it means to be a Muslim. He believes that Western media portrays Islam in a very negative light. Said stated that the West creates ubiquitous iconography of Islam. Said analyzes various texts from mediums such as the New York Times and Time magazine, explaining the dichotomies of West versus East, or us versus them, that have been created by the Western media. Marwan Crady conducted his study of the Middle East from an anthropological perspective. Crady looked at Lebanese culture using a sense of the local to observe how political, economic, and social dynamics vary from different forms of locality. These localities are constantly shifting and interacting, and the media represents these shifts and changes. Crady observed the meaning that Lebanese people create for their own culture and their media, instead of producing a statistical representation of Lebanese society. As we have seen, different forms of research and methodology aim to study Middle Eastern media in ways attuned to their discipline. It becomes necessary to analyze media through many different perspectives in order to gain a more holistic understanding, such as the task of the anthropologist.